Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicole Messiah, and I have the distinct honor and pleasure of serving as your DeKalb County Commissioner and Chair of PECS, Planning, Economic Development, and Community Services Committee. I have the pleasure to serve alongside my new PECS committee members, one, Commissioner Robert Patrick from District 1, but then also Commissioner Michelle Longspears from District 2, who was in the committee with us last year. Also with us today serving as a part of this meeting is Commissioner Ted Terry from Super District 6. And if you've had an opportunity to review the minutes, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 0465.
Thank you so much. Second.
Oh.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much. That item has been approved. The next is appointments. We have two appointments presently. One of our interviewees is here, and so I'll read off the agenda item for those following along. We're at the top of page 1. That's agenda item 2026-0302. All commission districts appoint Dr. Sarah Petatunde.
Patnod.
Patnod? All right, Patnod, there we go. To post 2 of the DeKalb Regional Land Bank Authority. Thank you so much, Ms. Patnod, for being here with us today. We have some basic questions as we typically ask potential appointees. That's being passed out to my colleagues. But I always start by asking, just general questions in terms of your desire to serve in this capacity, and any experience or work history, anything you have that you want to share in terms of what makes you qualified and what you hope to actually accomplish or bring as a part of being on this board.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me, and great seeing you all. So I'm Dr. Sarah Patnod. I serve right now as the Director of Policy Solutions.
And I'm sorry, is your microphone on?
Yes.
Okay, all righty.
Yeah. I'm the Director of Policy Solutions for the Southeast at Reinvestment Fund. So Reinvestment Fund is a national CDFI. We do have an office here in Atlanta, and I focus on our work in the Southeast region, which we say is Virginia to Texas, so very wide Southeast. My background is in housing, though now I also get to work on issues related to other aspects of community development, including healthy food access, early childhood education, commercial corridors, and other aspects. And my job is really about helping people make data-driven decisions, so bringing informed decision-making and coming up with strategy based on that data. My background's in housing. Previously, I worked for the Decatur Housing Authority and Tapestry Development Group, which is a nonprofit housing developer, so I'm experienced in the multifamily affordable housing space. I've also, prior to that, worked in a consulting firm, KB Advisory Group, which is known here in DeKalb County. And before that, I was an academic. I actually studied affordable housing policy as part of my doctorate in history. So I'm super excited about this opportunity to bring all of that experience to the land bank. I was actually part of the conversations with Madam CEO when that land bank needed to get reinvigorated and restarted, and super excited to get to be part of its future.
Thank you so much, Ms. Patnod, and thank you again for your willingness to serve. Just another question, and then I'll open the floor for the rest of the committee members and my colleagues. We have 13 cities here that are found within DeKalb County. How do you believe the board can do a better job in engaging with our municipal partners?
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of this is about kind of the ramp up of the Land Bank Authority. Right now, I feel like we're trying to get our early wins in place, and it's going to be those wins and that success to point to that is going to make some of these other municipal partners interested in joining into the land bank as well. So it's much easier to show that track record when you've had a little bit of time, and I think we're right on that cusp.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Terry, do you have any questions?
I'll yield to the committee members first.
That's right. He's not PECS. My apologies, Commissioner Patrick. I've got to get used to a new group of folks on the committee.
As the other guy with a beard, I understand. It's very confusing.
It's only been, 2 weeks now?
Right.
There we
exactly. go. Sarah, thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing to consider this service. Just breezing quickly through your resume, very impressive. And it sounds like you are probably the right person for the position, so thank you for your interest in this. I'm just going to follow some of the standard questions. Please describe your understanding of the role and responsibilities of the Land Bank Authority, specifically how you believe the board can better engage with our... You know what? I'm going to read the next one. Please describe what you believe are the most significant challenges and opportunities facing the land bank.
Yes, so again, I think that this is really that kind of inflection point for the land bank of getting some of these properties out the door. Of course, it is a long process to clear a title and return properties to that tax roll. I think a lot of those initial hiccups are getting smoothed out, and I know that that's a partnership between the land bank board and the land bank staff and the Board of Commissioners and the county staff as well. So I think that this is a key opportunity for the county, and I'm really excited about the ability of the land bank to not only return properties to the tax rolls, like that's its statutory requirement, but to really return properties to community use and to help the community dig into this really important and vital tool as we're facing our affordable housing problems across the county.
Absolutely. Sort of a follow-up question, if you don't mind, Madam Chair. So of all the homes that end up, I guess, going off the tax records and then into the land bank, do you happen to know roughly how many would be just through family members that pass away and there's not a will in place, or something through probate court that ends up tying up and clouding the title on the land? Do you have just a...
Yeah, that's a really great question. I don't have a number at the top of my mind, but I do know that that question of what's sometimes called heirs property is a key one that I think as the county is addressing its county housing strategy, I'm hoping that that'll get addressed in there. There's also some really interesting things that the Savannah Land Bank is doing around these kinds of properties, where there might be a family member who's currently living in the property, but it has gone through the land banking process. And so thinking about how you can, again, think about that community use and that family use
Right.
as part of a land bank tool.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Patrick. Commissioner Longspears?
Thank you very much, and to echo my colleague, Commissioner Patrick, I'm very impressed with your resume. Thank you so much for being with us today. My question is, as an appointee to the Land Bank Authority Board, what would be your top 3 priorities to help advance the Land Bank's mission of reducing blight and promoting productive reuse of properties within DeKalb County?
Sure. So when I think about the priorities for the land bank, those are really around increasing the pipeline and then also being able to turn those properties around. But when I think about what my role would be on the board of the land bank, it's about equipping Tamika and her staff with the knowledge and strategy that they need to be able to make good disposition decisions. So one of the tools that is not just mine, but the Reinvestment Fund recently created was a market value analysis study where we look at the different types of housing markets across DeKalb County. And that can be a really key tool to being strategic in how you are disposing of those properties. Some markets, all you need to do is turn the property around with a clear title and somebody can do something great with it. Other times you might need to bring some more tools along with it as well. So being able to help strategically guide those decisions would be my first priority. The second piece is that I'm really excited about this moment with the strategic plan that the land bank is adopting, being able to help create some of those actions and make sure that they're happening. And I think the third piece is really just being a thought partner to the staff in the land bank and helping bring in some of those best practices. And especially I've heard that the idea of potential multifamily development, which is in my background, could be something really useful.
Thank you so much for your concise responses. I yield back.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Longspears. Commissioner Terry?
I will just add that I have interacted with Sarah at various housing events and symposiums, so you're definitely the right person for the job. I think the land bank has tremendous potential, and I just saw the director's newsletter yesterday, so there's a lot of really great things that are already happening. So you're going to be going onto a board that has a lot going on, so looking forward to seeing how you can help support that work. Thank
Agreed.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Terry. Are there any additional questions or comments? Seeing, is there anything else that you would like to share with the committee at this time?
No, I just really thank you for the opportunity and look forward to continuing to serve DeKalb.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Petnot, for being here with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Next, we have agenda item 2026-0308, all commission districts to appoint Reverend Dr. James Todd Speed to post 1 of the DeKalb County Hospital Authority. Dr. James Todd, thank you so much for being here with us. We're just getting the packet right now.
Hey.
Great afternoon, and while we're just glancing over this, if you wouldn't mind, just saying initial question as Dr. Petnod, in terms of your experience and just what you would like to share that you think will be helpful in serving in this capacity, and specifically, is there any details or anything you would like to bring to or change, any things that you think that you will do to, improve the hospital authority?
I'm learning. It's like drinking through a fire hose, getting through all the information about the various boards. And I've been on the hospital board for a couple of years now, and I've really appreciated the work of Jen Shuck and her leadership team and the board there. We hear a lot of stories about how it used to be 4, 5, 6 years ago before, as the merger was happening with Emory and before that, and I feel very fortunate that where we are now and the direction the DeKalb Emory-Decatur Hospital is going, and so I'm very excited about its future. And I've been a long time conversation partner with Bob Wilson about being on the board and his experiences there, and he kind of recruited me to step in and be part of this new season of the hospital. So.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. And I will just share, and since we're talking about the hospital authority, we have some healthcare deserts in and around DeKalb County, particularly in District 3, and I would be remiss if I didn't share that as the District 3 County Commissioner. Any thoughts in and around how we can address and resolve that, particularly a potential new hospital?
Good question. Good question. I know there's been a lot of community and at least efforts towards community engagement, preventative care, trying to reach out and inform people of what is available. But in terms of a new hospital, I'm not currently aware of explicit plans about that, but I would certainly be open to that possibility.
So you wouldn't be adverse if it came up?
No.
Gotta ask. Thank you so much. I'll open it up for committee members. Commissioner Patrick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your willingness to serve with us. Let's see. Would you please describe what you perceive to be the role, duties, and responsibilities of all members of the hospital authority?
Sure. First is to prioritize the health and well-being of the citizens of DeKalb County, and to work through the hospital authority in order to work towards that mission. It not being a doctor or a healthcare professional, we found that it is helpful to have some different voices from the community. I'm a pastor, been in DeKalb County for 19 years, and I listen. I listen to the people. I listen to the needs. I listen to what people are excited about when it comes to healthcare, what they're frustrated about, what's missing, what's needed. And so I think my role on the board is to kind of represent the community to the DeKalb Hospital Authority Board as we go about our mission to seek the health and well-being of the citizens.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Patrick. Commissioner Longspears?
Thank you so much, and I knew you looked familiar. Good to see you again, sir. 2 pretty awesome candidates right in a row, and thank you so much for being with us today. My question is, what do you believe are the most significant challenges and opportunities currently facing healthcare systems and public hospital authorities, both locally and more broadly? How would you use your role to help the authority navigate these issues, provide effective oversight, and support informed strategic decision-making?
Great question.
A long one.
Of course, certainly financial sustainability is part of the challenge before any hospital authority. And with national, with all the systems coming together and there being, instead of lots of different hospitals, a few different, a few different conglomerations of hospitals, I think navigating that change is going to be very important for our local hospitals. I think the mental health is going to be a challenge, continue to be a challenge, one that we need to address more effectively across the board, not just with the hospitals, but with every serving agency in the county is going to be a tremendous challenge. The other challenge we have before us is the aging of the boomers and just the volume of boomers who don't have adequate resources to address their health needs in the coming decades. I'm concerned about that.
Great. Thank you so much for that thorough response. Good to see you again, sir.
Thank you so much for that and sharing that information. Commissioner Terry?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nothing to ask other than just to say I'm familiar with the work of Reverend Speed. He's done a lot of work in Clarkston as well as with the homeless in DeKalb, so appreciate him putting himself up for service. You already do so much, but this is a great role for you, so looking forward to seeing how you can add value in your voice and perspective to the board. Thanks.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Commissioner Terry. And I'll also add, there is some shortfalls in terms of funding just based on allocations from a federal level. Several of us recently attended the State of Grady address and realized that there was a $132 million deficit. And so with DeKalb County, along with Fulton County, actually being the head of the hospital authority and all of the folks in DeKalb County that Grady serves, do you have any thoughts in and around how we might be able to, DeKalb County, or what your contribution or any thoughts, ideas you might have if you're on this board as to how to address that, that deficit?
Good question. I think the hospitals, hospital boards, hospital authorities, the medical profession altogether need to communicate to the community. I would think that the average citizen may not be aware of such, funding issues and the long-term impacts of a loss of funding for Grady, for example. And so that message needs to get out there, especially with the diversity of news sources now. We can't rely on a local newspaper or local 6 p.m. news to tell the story. So the hospitals are and the medical profession is going to have to tell the story about what kind of impacts lack of funding will accomplish.
I agree. And communication is key. Any thoughts in and around how to best get that communication out to the general public?
Good question. I think it's good. I know there's a big branding effort going on right now with the Emory Decatur Hospital, and social media is powerful. And we need to use all the resources available to get the word out. Then when something comes down from Washington that is harmful to our local citizens, then hospitals authorities need to speak up. The hospital boards need to speak up and let the world know what's going on.
I completely agree. Any other questions from any of my colleagues? Any other thoughts? Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us, Dr. Speed?
No, I just appreciate the service. My dad was on the board of Kennestone Hospital when it became part of Wellstar, and I remember that fondly and kind of grew up in the shadow of Kennestone, and so it's nice to be here at Emory Decatur and being a part of this effort now.
And we appreciate you. Actually, I have a grandmother that's at Kennestone Hospital right now, so yes. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us here today. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thank you.
Next, we have a status update, and that status update will be provided related to the TAD financials. by VP Tiffany Wills from Decide DeKalb. Great afternoon, Ms. Wills. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
The presentation is up.
All right. The presentations will be on the screen while they're being passed out to us. And would you like to? She could. Would you like to come closer? If you'd like to. Yeah, come on. Yeah. We don't bite. Not all of us. Employees, come closer, so I appreciate you. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
All right, green is for go.
There is go.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon.
I hope everybody is having a great Tuesday. We have exciting updates on our TAD activity for ending out the year in 2025. So our current TAD fund balance across all 5 tax allocation districts is just under $36 million. There's approximately $8.5 million still being held by DeKalb County. And again, that is for funds that were accumulated prior to Decide DeKalb taking over management and administration of the TADs. Additionally, we have accumulated net income for the year of $8 million. Avondale had a total net annual income of $382,000. Briarcliff, $3.6 million. Kensington, $2.4 million. Market Square, $444,000, and Southwest DeKalb, just under $1.2 million. As a reminder, Avondale and Market Square are our smallest geographical areas for tax allocation districts, so they typically have the lowest amount of net annual income on an annual basis. So we have a total of 6 previous awards, including those that were awarded in 2025. Avondale received a new award for cottages at Midway that's just under $2.3 million. Kensington previously had $245,000.
I'm sorry, Ms. Wills, give me 1 second.
Sure.
Shannon, can you make sure it's on our screen? Thank you so much. All right, it's on.
Perfect.
It's all good. Thank you. I appreciate you. Go ahead.
So for Kensington, the $118,000 is for a previous TAD award, so we are working with that property owner to collect all of their final documents so we can make a final disbursement. So we hope to have those funds dispersed this year. Market Square, the $70 million PAGO award, of course, was for Lula Hills, and Southwest DeKalb was $3.8 million for Candler Crossing, which was awarded in 2025. So we currently have 10 pending TAD applications across all 5 of our TADs, which we are very excited about to have a lot of activity in these TADs. The total development cost of all of these projects is at $85 million total investment. Total TAD funding requests are just under $25 million. Not all of those funds will be 100% funded. Those are the requested amounts, and as we continue underwriting those transactions and completing the due diligence, we'll have final numbers once we go to the board for approval. Also interesting, we also have broken out the types of projects that are applying for TAD funds, which is across the board, a mix of uses. So we have non-residential commercial projects, public infrastructure, housing, and of course, mixed use. So we heard your comments at the last Committee of the Whole meeting and have included in our quarterly reporting updates per district. Unfortunately, Commissioner Patrick, there are no TADs in your district, so you will have some zeros.
I won't take it personally.
Yet.
Thank you.
But we have multiple applications in every district, and of course 6 and 7 will be a combination of the sub-districts that are in their areas. And then, of course, we have our pending total TAD awards. These projects range from $55,000 requested funding all the way to $10 million. So we are extremely excited to see so much positive activity. And then we've also provided the previous TAD awards by district, the total funding that has been awarded per district, and then a map to visualize where those locations are and the project names as well. So we now have our 5 TAD funding programs. We have opened up the Pre-Development Loan Fund, Urban Renewal Fund, and the Small Business Property Improvement Grant in all 5 of our tax allocation districts. The pay-as-you-go and TAD bonds are only available in the 3 TADs listed because of the termination dates that are approaching in 2029. There just isn't enough run room left for those awards. And then finally, we still have our interactive TAD GIS map available online for all of our TADs. So you can enter in a property address and confirm if it's included as an eligible property. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to take those.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wills. I really do appreciate it, and making it a little easier to read and be able to decipher via district, and then be able to see the open projects. So I really do appreciate that, and I know you guys had to put in some extra work to be able to have that differentiator. I noticed when it comes to the pending applications that districts 2 and 6 have on average 2 to 3 more applications pending, but then also when it comes to the previous TAD awards, that districts 2 and 6 also have, oh my gracious,
I probably messed that up.
we have a significant, at least, 24 times in some cases, more than some of the other districts, so both for applications and the previous TAD awards. Can you speak to that and why, what's sort of causing just those huge variations there?
Absolutely. So Districts 6 and 7 will include the applications that are in Districts 1 through 5. So those will appear to be duplicative. But for District 2 specifically, there is a large application in for $10 million for an infrastructure project. So that is going to account for $10 million of the $12 million that's pending an award, which we anticipate that will be going forward for approval in the next 60 to 90 days once we complete that application. And then you have a number of different projects. Commercial projects tend to have a higher total development cost, and let's say multifamily residential property. So we do see a range of $60,000 for small business property improvement grants, but the infrastructure applications are typically in the millions.
Got it. I appreciate that. And I want to open the floor up for some other committee members. Commissioner Patrick?
No questions right now. Thank you, though.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Terry? I'm sorry, Commissioner Long-Spears?
First of all, I just want to thank you, Mr. DeBar, and Decide DeKalb, all of your staff and your board members, for supporting the recent projects in District 2 and District 6 for the trail expansions. We are super duper, uber excited about it, and you have made a lot of people just really, just happy to see some progress there. It's a project that's really been desired in my district for a very long time. My predecessor, Commissioner Jeff Rader, was really big into trails as well, and he is also delighted. So thank you so very much. We're excited about that. I am going to ask the dreaded question. I always ask it every single meeting, and I'll continue to do it. However, Mr. DeBar did state that the TAD acts are looking really good, and they'll be starting this summer. That's right.
Yes,
is that correct?
That is the intent. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the work on that. I know it's been on the table for about 2.5 years now, and it took some time to work through the kinks and the details and work between lawyers, and then you had a whole bunch of new members on your board last year that required education. So thank you for your dedication to make it happen, and I look forward to convening them in this summer, or making my appointment this summer to your TADACs.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Yield back.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Long-Spears. Commissioner Terry?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tiffany, just on the awards by district number, so I think the outlier is the 70 million from
Absolutely.
Hula Hills, and can you maybe just explain why that's maybe a little bit different than the other ones? Like, it's a pay-go, so just maybe
Absolutely.
explain what that means and why it's it's so high compared to the other?
Absolutely. So the Lula Hills redevelopment of North DeKalb Mall is approximately $900 million total development cost. Our $70 million TAD award was actually an inflated amount over the 20 years we're projecting that it will take for the TAD to actually make that reimbursement. So the base award is $35 million towards the public infrastructure to establish the actual footprint for Edens to be able to attract all of the wonderful new retailers that have recently been announced. So the base award was $35 million. Because it will take 20 years likely to repay that through the TAD, it's a total loss in value, so it's $70 million.
Okay, great. Thanks for explaining that. And then, some of the newer TADs like Southwest DeKalb TAD are new. So, really, in order for the awards to be larger, like there needs to be development that is
Correct. There would
feeding
need to
it.
be a large-scale, multi-phase,
Yep.
$100 million plus project in order for there to be a TAD PEGO award at that size.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we'll see more of that.
Yes, we are.
And I mean,
hopefully.
Market Square probably will be full because Lula Hills needs to get built. So that was always the imperative but for that TAD support and all the ways you listed, then the project wouldn't have happened.
Correct.
And we would be, out of a $900 million plus development, or it just would have been delayed, and who knows. So I do see, at least in that situation, that was the right move to make because it meant that the project moved forward and will be, I think, ultimately a great thing for the county in the long run. The only other question I had is, has the board discussed dissolving any of the TADs? And I'm specifically thinking about Avondale, Columbia, and then the Kensington Memorial Drive.
Yes, we are currently doing an assessment of both Avondale and Kensington.
Okay.
So we anticipate that assessment will be done and completed in May, and that we will have a new recommendation for path forward to either continue those TADs until they close or to reimagine those TADs and create new tax allocation districts that are better suited for the community's needs today.
Okay, gotcha. And in terms of sort of that analysis and then the recommendations moving forward, are you working with Dr. Ferguson and Jacob Vallow and Zach in terms of how the county's other housing and development goals might fit into the future of those two TADs locally?
Yes.
Or just in a broader sense?
Yes, absolutely. And Decide DeKalb was lucky enough to be selected by ULI for a mini technical assistance panel to help with this assessment. So their assessment will be completed in May. Dr. Ferguson and Jacob Vallow, they'll be attending that presentation, and then we'll collectively make a recommendation to the board on how to move forward.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Terry. Are there any more questions?
Actually,
Commissioner Patrick?
just having difficulty getting to that link. Could you maybe, when you get a chance, send a link over to the map?
Yes, absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you so much, Ms. Wills, for being here with us today, as always. We really do appreciate you.
Thank you. Looking forward to next time. Have
Yes,
a good
ma'am.
one.
Thank you. We're going to circle back for those that are following along with us back to page 1 and go ahead and vote on our appointments. The first will be 2026-032, and that is all commission districts appointment for Dr. Sarah Patnod to post 2 of the DeKalb County Regional Land Bank Authority.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. The next is agenda item 2026-0308, all commission districts to appoint Reverend Dr. James Todd Speed to post 1 of the DeKalb County Hospital Authority.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. All right, we're going to continue on. And we are now on page 2 under Parks and Rec. The next agenda item is 2026-0307. Great afternoon. All commission districts, contract number 20000132, pressure washing services for County Park. First renewal of 2 options to renew for the use of Parks and Rec. This contract consists of providing pressure washing services for the county parks. It requests to seek the exercise of the first renewal through May 31st, 2027, awarded to Facility Maintenance and Services Group, LLC, amount not to exceed $63,000. Great afternoon.
All right, good afternoon. This item is one we are recommending approval on. It is for pressure washing for all of our pool decks, our pavilions, playgrounds, and our park entry signs.
Fantastic. Are there any questions from committee members?
No pressure. Watch.
No pressure whatsoever,
That seemed very
right?
straightforward. It's fine.
Let's hope there's lots of pressure. We're going to get these parks washed down, all right? Commissioner Long Spears?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next agenda item, 2026-0395, all commission districts, contract number 1360830, tree cutting and removal services for Parks and Rec, the annual contract, second renewal of 2 options to renew for the use of Department of Parks and Rec. This contract consists of providing tree cutting and removal services for county-owned facilities. The request seeks to ratify a previously provided contract term increase. It seeks to exercise the second renewal option through January 31st, 2027, awarded to Sesmas Tree Services, LLC, the total amount not to exceed $250,000.
All right, and we are also recommending approval for this item. This is for tree trimming, taking care of our down trees, any dead trees, and all of that is done in conjunction with our county arborist. So,
All right, fantastic. And how many arborists do we have right now? We have 2?
I think we just added one.
Okay. All right.
One
Yeah.
position to fill that.
Yeah, and so to my colleague's point, that's what I was thinking as well. We just added, for some in the budget, so I was just curious as to how we were looking at getting them in. With that, I will open up any questions, if there are any, to committee members. Commissioner Terry?
Thank you. Just a quick question for Director Bass. So for the tree cutting and removal, I know that's their contract. Is there anything within the existing maintenance of parks or in this contract that would allow for like the cutting of like ivy or wisteria on trees, that could eventually kill the tree and then force it to be taken down because it was covered in invasive species?
not specific to this contract, but there are some resources that we're working with our maintenance team on to try to figure out ways how we can address invasive species.
Okay, I think that'd be good, because even just having, especially around the winter time, going through and just cutting all the, at the root of the vines, could go a long ways in helping the trees.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Terry. Commissioner Patrick?
Final question. Director, is this contract something to be more proactive about, as in you'll have these contractors going to the different parks to look at existing trees that are in place? Or is this something's been reported, or there's been a tree that's been noted halfway fell down and this comes take care of the rest of it?
Yes, sir. This is something from a maintenance standpoint to where if there's a storm and we know we have to take out some trees that have come down, we'll take care of it that way. If we've identified some trees that appear to be dead, again, we'll coordinate with our arborist and we'll go ahead and take care of those. So that's what this contract is specific for.
Okay.
Yes,
Do you have something, or have you guys considered something where it's a little more of a proactive approach to trees? I know usually there's a clump of pine trees, and as long as they are healthy together, individually they're fine, but as one starts peeling off, it can cause problems for the rest of the group, or as oak trees get older, they can have a cavity in the center. So just checking to see if, for the safety of the residents, overall aesthetics of the park, if you have something that.
Yes, sir, and I think we do have some plans. Don't want to speak without conferring with the team, but I believe in our maintenance standards plan through our accreditation, we have something to mitigate that. But let me double check and I can let you know for sure what that plan is. And if we don't have a plan, I can figure out how we can start incorporating that within our maintenance standards.
Thank you much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Patrick. With that, if there are no any questions, or appoints, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much, Director Bass. Appreciate you. The next item is Agenda Item 2026-0426, and all commission districts, change order 3 to contract number 1269307, and change order number 2 to contract numbers 1269304 and 1269305, asbestos abatement, demolition, and debris removal annual contract with 2 options to renew for the use by the Department of Community Development. This contract consists of providing asbestos abatement, demolition, and debris removal services. It seeks to ratify previously issued contract term increase and to provide services. It also seeks to increase the contract funds and term through December 31st, 2026. Awarded to Southern Demolition LLC, Kissburg Construction Incorporated, and Diversified Environmental Management, Inc., in total amount not to exceed $480,525. Director Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to make this brief presentation. As you know, that we have an objective in the county to remove blight throughout all districts, and we use the interim process to do that. The community development is in the interim process along with a lot of other departments, starting with law and code enforcement, et cetera. But we're the back end where we get the final orders from judges when things are adjudicated. And so over the history, I've been there 21 years, but over the history, even before that, we've always done the demolitions using federal funds. So we haven't appropriate funds from the general fund to do demolitions. We've always used federal funds, which is not a problem, and it's an eligible activity under our HUD guidelines, and we've been able to go about it for many years doing demolitions. Today, I'm asking the board to be able to approve an extension of the existing contracts that we have in place. There are 3. We also plan to let a solicitation in the summer to get even more contractors, but we currently have 3. We originally had 4, but 1 backed out. And so therefore, today's objective is to get you to extend the contract. Demolitions are very important in DeKalb County, and there are most examples. All of you have participated in some of those we've conducted. Here's an example of the most recent one with a good friend, Commissioner Patrick, up in his district, because most of the blight is actually in District 3, 4, and 5, but we happen to have blight in District 1. We're excited about being able to go there. And this is a recent news, Channel 2 News feature where Commissioner Patrick was there with the community along with the CEO and myself, among other staff members, to be able to eradicate blight. So blight's very important. Yes, Commissioner?
Madam Chair, if I may add,
Go ahead.
you usually wear a hoodie to a demolition when you're going to swing the hammer and take down the house. So just so everyone understands, while my colleagues were finely dressed, I was in jeans and a hoodie because I had brought my hammer to take down that house because it was that bad. So, thank you.
Okay. So with this, it's not moving here. Okay. So the objective again is to extend 3 contracts that purchasing has put in the agenda item. The legislation comes from purchasing when you have procurement. It's for $480,000, as alluded to earlier. It's for 3 contractors, which I'll get into more. The 3 contractors are listed there, and we're very familiar with these contractors. We use them over the years, but we're going to allocate $160, $175 for each between now and year end. The background of this is that some of you know that there's a lot of blight. The rationale for this is that there's a lot of blight in DeKalb County. We did a study. Here's the severity levels we look at, level 5s to level 4s. This tells you a sense of how we categorize properties. That's a map of telling you, in essence, for all the parcels going back many years ago as to where the blight would be. For the 5s, it's about 7,000 units between actually 1s and 5s. And here's a breakout by district and super district. It shows you that most of them are, again, in 3, 4, and 5. So there's a pent-up demand to get blight taken care of. Also, those are the actuals we've got year-to-date in terms of activity for demolitions. So what we like to do is request you formally to extend the contract because it's a very important task that we all love to do, but it's very important because we make people happy that live next to these houses. These individuals to get demolitions done in their communities are extremely excited when we get through. And the media sees this as something very positive to let people know that DeKalb County is all about getting rid of blight. So with that, I ask your permission to extend our contracts.
Thank you so much, Director Mitchell. Can you go back a couple of slides? I think it might have been 7. There we go. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
This chart could be difficult. In-rim has demolitions is done by owners. The in-rim process will force you to go before a judge if you're an owner,
Yeah.
or the county can do it. In addition to abatement, years ago we did abatements, we still can, but we elected to fund that with the general fund, and abatements come from either an owner or the county. So that's what this chart explains.
Yes. It'd be great if you could to provide, there you go, you already knew where I was going with it, and just to see, actually, instead of just the severity and the districts, to see what percent each year are being demolished in each of the districts. Or I'm presuming my colleagues would like to see the same information related to their district, but I would like specifically for District 3, in the particular years, what percent of the demolitions were taking place in which particular district?
Yes, I'll do that. We have 9 demolitions working on currently with final orders. 3 are being scheduled in the next couple weeks. The 20th is one in District 3 and 7. And we have others in 4 and 7, and back again with 3 and 7. And I'll invite you to those, of course, and we'll let you know. I'll give you data, which shows the actuals.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Any of the committee members, Commissioner Patrick?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. On this slide that you have here, Alan, that is a great indicator of what we have going on in the county, so thank you for putting that together. I know that we frequently have fires and other public safety engagements at residential properties.
Yep.
Is there a way that we can sort of take whatever incidents responses happen from public safety and then have them, I guess, either go through planning and sustainability or code enforcement or to your hands ultimately to sort of reduce the amount of time between a house fire or something happening at a property where it gets into a dilapidated state and your team being able to move it through the courts more quickly? Does that question make sense?
Yes, it does. It requires me to explain the interim process. So I'm really the back end.
Mm-hmm.
So if code enforcement would cite individuals over a period of time and they determine that should go forward to be adjudicated, they go to the law department and they provide a package to the law department. Then they advertise and get the owners, and legally you have to do that to demonstrate a need to secure them. And law can collaborate what I'm saying. And then after they get in front of a judge, and the judge could defer you or could extend for many reasons, and then the judge makes a decision with a final order. The order says that he will order you to take the property down if it's your property, and you have X amount of days, say 30 days to do it. If you
And
don't
I'm sorry,
do that,
just briefly,
then we can
Director
actually-
Mitchell, I'm going to ask our interim county attorney, since we're talking specifically about a legal process, to share the specifics related to that legal process, if he would, please. Thank you.
Hi, Commissioners. I'll give you a high-level overview just so you can see what's involved. When we are asking a court for permission to go in and bring property in compliance with the code, we're asking the court to give us that permission without the owner's consent. Occasionally, owners will agree and will sign a consent order, and the court signs that. Often we have to present facts that warrant the county going in. The very nature of this is safety. We are preventing a safety hazard by bringing the property into compliance and protecting the public by doing so. The general process is we provide 3 types of notice in order to get before the court. It's published, it is posted at the property, and sent certified mail to what we would call interested parties. We conduct a title search, everybody on the title gets notice. We walk in court and show them that the property's out of compliance through code officers who are our witnesses. We try to use objective evidence such as photographs supplemented by the code officer's testimony about how it's out of compliance. In a nutshell, what ends up with Mr. Mitchell's group is the order allowing the county to bring the property in compliance. And an easy way to think of it, if there's a structure, we remove the structure and all the debris, bring the property to grade. That includes the foundation. Oftentimes there's a slab that has to be removed. If the property is just overgrown with trash and debris, junk cars and those kinds of things, but no structure, then all of it is removed and it's just brought in compliance. Mr. Mitchell's work is to have vendors come and perform the cleanup after the litigation is done. But I've given you a very brief, high-level summary of how the litigation goes. And given the nature of going on private property without the owner's consent, oftentimes there is significant timing involved. It typically takes between 15 and 45 days, the filing requirement, just to get everything presented for the court to consider. On the third Wednesday of every month, the magistrate court holds in rem proceedings. We will ask for one. The court can continue it. Sometimes owners ask. Once we get before the court, the judge may take time to decide if they're going to give us an order. Once they sign it, they typically sign the order saying the county has to wait 30 days, and that's the owner's last chance to bring it in compliance themselves. And then we'll go forward with Mr. Mitchell's group to get it cleaned up. I hope that's a fair, high-level description.
That's it completely. Just wanted to make sure, as Commissioner Patrick, as we were answering questions, that specifically a legal process was addressed by our legal gurus. So thank you so much, Interim County Attorney, and also Director Mitchell. Commissioner Patrick.
Perhaps maybe this question might be more for Zach then. Is there a way that we can set up a process that if there's a fire department goes in response to a house fire, that there's some type of a tickler set up for sustainability or for code enforcement that says there was a fire at this location, 30 days or 60 days down the road, we're going to have someone from the county and another department go in and just take photos from the right-of-way to do an assessment of the house, and then if it's a problem, as in the property owner hasn't engaged with their insurance company, or it looks like it's well beyond repair and it's a complete demolition, is there a way that we can have a process that sort of has the county be a little more proactive to these?
I think so.
new growing plants?
Let me get with the team and see how we can put something like that together if we don't have it. So this is a circumstance where the house becomes unlivable.
Right. So a tree has fallen on it, or a fire has happened, or something's happened where the house is rendered not habitable or is questionable if it's habitable or not. Is there a way we can be a little more proactive and just do a natural, every third Tuesday of the month, there's a list that comes out that says there were these responses at these areas, these houses, and then staff goes out and just verifies this is or is not an issue that needs to be followed up.
Yeah, give us a couple weeks. We'll come back to you with something.
Okay. Thank you much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Patrick, and great idea. It may be easier then also in terms of providing notice, because not so much time has gone by where the property is sitting in a dilapidated condition where they've left and it's moved and then moved again and then moved again, and it makes it even more difficult to find out who the owners are, or to make sure that you have notice. So great idea. I love the way you think. Any other questions from commissioners? All right. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 0426.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Allen. The next is a Human Services agenda item, and that's 2026-0461. All commission districts to appropriate SPLOST funding to purchase, install, and repair Lou Walker kitchen equipment. Great afternoon, Director Scott.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the PECS committee. I have Aricia King, the manager and director of Lou Walker, with me. We're here because just a little background on Lou Walker Center. It's the largest senior center in DeKalb County, has over 3,500 members, and it's heavily utilized, as you all may be aware. And the The Lou Walker Kitchen is 20 years old, and COO Williams referenced it earlier today that there was an allocation by Commissioner Marita Davis Johnson a couple of years ago, but that was prior to the extensive repairs that were discovered as it relates to that center, which is inclusive of reconfiguration of gas lines and also some refrigeration challenges. And so the kitchen has been down for 3 years, and we've had to do a lot of workarounds. And the Human Services Department does not receive funding for facility repairs, but we are working with and have spoken with our Facilities Department, who are here today, as well as the SPLOST manager. And so we're seeking approval for funding, for a funding source, which will be SPLOST, in the equivalent of $265,000 that will repair the 10 items that have been identified from that review. And so the prior situation was a lack of a funding source for those repairs that led us to here today to asking for approval for the amount with SPLOST approval, so we can work with the Facilities Department to move forward with those repairs.
Thank you so much, Director Scott. Commissioner Long-Spears.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and always nice to see you, Director. And
Thank you.
Thank you to our Lou Walker Executive Director for being present with us today. Glad you're here. I was sorry to hear this morning that your kitchen has been down for 3 years. That's a long time, as much usage as that center gets. I can imagine it's been difficult to navigate. But thank you for bringing this today. I'm certainly in full support of you being able to have a kitchen that actually works and functions. So again, I'm so sorry it just took so long to get here. But thank you so much. Yield back.
Thank you, Commissioner Patrick.
Director Scott, good to see you as always. I'm sorry, could you repeat the number that we're approving today, or has been requested?
I'm sorry?
The dollar amount that's been requested?
$265,000 is the amount from SPLOST.
Okay.
That's being requested.
And that's
It's
it?
276,000. Did you say 265?
265, yes.
That's not what is in our item.
276 is what we've got here.
The original, in the agenda item, it was $276,000 that we requested, but I believe the SPLOST manager said that 265 is available.
So you'll have a substitute for Tuesday?
So two things happened with this. SPLOST 1 had $1 million line item. When final revenue came in, we prorated. That gave us a little bump over the $1 million. We're collecting interest. So with the interest as of the end of January, we've got $265,000. We may be able to find the extra pennies when it gets the final quotes in to get to the 276. I wouldn't change the number right now. We're close enough to work with the funds that slowly accrue the interest in SPLOST 1, and that'll close out that category.
Thank you. I actually interrupted Commissioner Patrick. He has the floor, but I heard the number and I knew it was not right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So for the record, our agenda item says 276. That was from the quotes that we have on it, but the SPLOST manager at the time said it was 265 that was available towards it.
Okay. And again, looking through the packet, I forget, we don't have the page number on it, but as I scroll towards the bottom, it says critical needs subtotal, $1.5 million and some change. Is there a plan to address the total critical needs, or we're just going to talk about this little portion right here for now?
We've raised it, and it appears that it's going in stages. So the next area would be the pool area, and that's been documented, and we're getting additional quotes as we speak on that as well.
Okay.
And hopefully a funding source can be identified for the pool area, Lou Walker, as well.
Okay. And I know you guys know this better than I do, but sometimes a one-time staging is better than a multi-stage because it ends up costing you more money for that staging. But all right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Patrick. And speaking of pools, I know we were working on the senior center, the Atlanta DeKalb, which is the oldest senior center. So we've got to make sure we follow up with relations to getting quotes on potential pool with the remodel and the things that we're doing there. So just to follow up on there. Commissioner Long-Spears, do you have anything further?
Just to clarify, so you do not have to prepare, or the recommendation is that we go with the original item. No need to prepare a substitute for the business meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right, great. No more questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Commissioner Long Spears, Commissioner Terry? All right. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much, Mr. Kingsbury, for joining us as well. I think that is it. With that, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we also have another presentation, so I want to jump to that because I know we have another presentation that's here and waiting. And so with that, we will go to agenda item, well, we'll just start at the Board of Commissioners District 6, agenda item 2026-0244, for all commission districts, a resolution requiring a countywide health and environmental impact study before the issuance of a land disturbance permit, LDP, for a data center.
Madam Chair, Science for Georgia is here to present specifically related to 0245, but 0244 is related to that one. So if it's
Well,
possible.
are they going to speak to this one as well? Because no, I knew that. I just wanted to go ahead and jump in.
Yeah,
and see.
they're related. So yeah, I mean, they have a presentation that might cover both of them.
Okay, then I'll speak to that next agenda item or sound out the next agenda item as well. That's 2026-0245, all commission districts, an allocation not to exceed $15,000 of the DeKalb County General Fund to be considered for the FY 2026 budget to DeKalb County Public Health to conduct a study on known health and environmental impacts of data centers on local communities.
And substitute was changed this morning
right.
to Science for Georgia.
All right. So based on that substitute, so there's a sub for agenda item ending in 0245, and if we can have the representatives from Science for Georgia to come to the front. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hey.
And can you state your name?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amy Sharma. I'm the Executive Director of Science for Georgia.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Sharma, for being here with us today.
Thanks. All right, would you like me to just kind of go over the
Sure.
ordinance real quick? All right,
Absolutely.
cool. Absolutely. So we're Science for Georgia.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
Can she come here?
A little closer. All right. On to the next podium.
The better to see.
I'm the one that turned 50 a week and a half ago, but, you know, my colleagues are having a hard time hearing over here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Dr.
On the
Sharma.
other side of the velvet rope. All right. Hey, y'all. Good afternoon. Good to see you. All right. Science for Georgia is a nonprofit. We're dedicated to getting science out of the lab and onto the street. So we do education, science communication, education, science outreach events for adults, and helping to make sure science has a seat at the table in policy making. So real quick, I'll just go through kind of what we've done so far. We're in the middle of this whole data center mess, and then the study that we were asked to do. All right, what have we done? Over the past year and a half, we've held multiple town halls across the state of Georgia to educate residents on what's going on, what data centers are, what they mean for their communities. Through trial and error, we've held community education workshops. We've also done a giant mapping project of all the proposed and planned and existing data centers in the state of Georgia, which is really hard because there are no uniform reporting requirements for them right now. At the state level, we are working with the Georgia General Assembly on multiple bills around these things. And we have a collection of ordinances and moratoria that have been effective and ineffective, both in Georgia and around Georgia. And we run a coalition of coalitions. So we are around this. It's all I think about. My kids know entirely too much about the subject at this point in time. But what we have learned through research is in the immediate vicinity, the impacts are usually noise and light pollution and water issues if like not properly graded and handled properly. When the power goes out, you have a lot of pollution problems around air pollution from the generators. You also have intermittent air pollution depending on the testing schedule for the generators. Locality, strain on water resources, loss of tree cover, impact on property values, depending on how things are zoned and where transmission lines go. And the big picture is right now power consumption is enormous, and most of Georgia's power comes from fossil fuel sources. All right, so sample questions that need to be addressed, mainly to address both health and community impacts, are where's it all going to go? What happens during a drought? Who's taking care of the backup power generation? Who's doing testing to ensure quality around noise, lighting, and water quality? How is this being transparently shared with the community? And what happens when the data center shuts down? All right, so proposed study. Y'all were interested in understanding the evidence-based best practices around specific ordinance languages and what should be looked at by the county, and contextualizing these practices in the state of DeKalb's current health and socioeconomic and environmental status. So what we propose to do this is hold meeting with stakeholders in DeKalb, including the Board of Health, and also multiple advocacy organizations, understanding their concerns, and then looking at research and summarizing the current state of the health and economic and environmental factors. If possible, working with the Board of Health to get de-identified data if possible, but if not, we can use census tract level data. Synthesizing all of these concerns and identifying overburdened areas of DeKalb and reviewing any current or proposed ordinances kind of in light of all this. So what we can provide back is an analysis, like a very detailed report based on of the ordinance and how this all relates together, including water use, possible wastewater contamination. We're hearing lots of community concerns around Georgia around PFAS contamination, so just addressing what that means and if that's even a thing that we should be looking at. Backup generators, noise pollution, end-of-life planning, things like that. And then a checklist for communities if they want to start talking about community benefit agreements. And we can have an optional town hall to report out. Resources and partnerships needed, introductions to stakeholders. Like, this is for you all, so if you want specific stakeholder voices, we would like to know who they are and get a list of them and introductions to them. Usually if you send the email, then people respond to them a lot faster. And then, if possible, getting whatever level of granularity on public health data that you all have access to. Timeline, and these are overlapping timelines you see on the next one. It'll take us about 4 weeks to get through all the interviews, and this is the most, I would call, risky part of the timeline, right? If people are out of town, if they all disappear, stakeholder interviews are always the hardest part. But once we start in and on the agreement, it'll take us 8 weeks nose to the grindstone and then 4 weeks to report out. So this is kind of it. It'll take us about 14 weeks to get through all this. I have so much backup information, but I am done talking unless you have questions.
Thank you so much again for being here. Commissioner Patrick, do you have any questions, or would you like me to?
Give me a moment to review this.
Sure.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, so I'll just ask just briefly. Commissioner Terry, I'll let you go ahead since it's your.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I'll just add that Science for Georgia, I think, has become a good sort of independent expert on data centers and the conversations. I will acknowledge that y'all were very supportive and gave a lot of input into the early drafts of our ordinance. I know Rachel and Tricia and Eva and team met with y'all. So, you've been sort of part of advising and giving advice on where we're at now. And I think the concern that we had heard from residents in the last several months was just like the environmental and health impacts. And so the goal here really is to bring in, an independent group, a nonprofit that's based in science and evidence, to not only review what we have before us, but to just have that kind of environmental health scan as sort of an additional layer of review and independent thought based on the facts and the evidence. 'Cause I think that's probably the biggest thing that we've kind of encountered is, there are sort of different versions of facts, that, depending on kind of how you look at it or what you're talking about. And so we're just, maybe just taking a little bit more granular approach to some of the, things that have come up, like the PFAS and the clean energy use and the generators and things like that, and just understanding, what are the potential impacts of data centers, thinking about, I guess, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we know there's a lot of really poor examples of communities that didn't have regulations and they kind of got sort of the worst kind of data center. But we are seeing other communities that have put really strict regulations in place. Arguably, DeKalb has probably one of the most, the most strict, quiet, clean, and comprehensive ordinance. But this hopefully provides another layer of analysis and maybe, confidence in what we're putting forward and, voting on relatively soon. Thank you.
You welcome the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Terry. Commissioner Long-Spears.
Thank you so much, and I apologize for missing the first part of your presentation, but I've quickly had a chance to scan it. May have some additional follow-up questions that I can email. This is the first time I've looked at it. But the first question, they're not labeled or numbered, so under the scope of work slide, it says hold meetings with stakeholders in DeKalb, including the Board of Health and advocacy organizations, and then on another page, agreed upon list of stakeholders to be interviewed, and forgive me if you already discussed this, but do you have that list already, or is that something that is in process?
We were hoping to get that from you.
Okay.
Like you all would provide the stakeholders. Like, we're perfectly aware of a couple advocacy organizations, but like we want to do the stakeholders you're most interested in, so we're waiting on the list from you all.
So what is the process then to submit the stakeholders we would like to participate? There's 7 of us. That's why sometimes it gets a little messy. Is there a point? Is he the point person? Are you the point person? You?
Me, I guess. Oh, great. Thanks for throwing me under the bus there. Yeah, so I guess if this gets agreed upon, I don't know, we'll put like a 2-week limit on it and be like, let me know who you think it is. And if it turns out that there's a list of 100, then we'll come back to you and try and work something out. But.
Okay. So, Commissioner Terry, I do have some ideas that folks that would like to be a part of this. And so I will, I guess to simplify, I'll just send my proposal of stakeholders to be included and copy you. And if you do get to 100, which would kind of be awesome, by the way, that's a lot, but there are a lot of people that care and are concerned about this issue. So I wouldn't be surprised if that stakeholder group gets bigger than you might imagine.
Okay, well, if we we can always pivot. We're pretty flexible. We'll make it work.
Also on that same slide, the scope of work slide, and this has come up before regarding DeKalb Board of Health's involvement. On this, the item initially was to give the funding to them. They did not feel that they had the capacity to manage this small project. Have you discussed, because again I noted if possible, the Board of Health providing this granular data?
So that's kind of on you all. So we have access to publicly available data sets. So we can get publicly available public health data from like the U.S. Census Bureau and like the CDC and things like that. So we can grab those data sets. We have them. We're ready to go. If there's something, and I can present them to y'all, and if you all are like, we really wanted XYZ and only the Board of Health has that, then we're going to have to get that from the Board of Health. But if they don't have the time or the capacity, or you're okay with the high level It's all going to be on census tract level. If you're okay with that list, then away we go.
Understood. So the if possible, really what we mean by that is that we would have to provide that data to you.
Yeah,
Of course,
because
that would be our public health director agreeing to it and their team doing the work on that.
yeah. So if they don't have the time or capacity, we should. I mean, there's a lot of publicly available data around like
I didn't
stuff
see
like that.
earlier. Okay, good. Well, she's here. I just don't want to commit someone to something without them actually providing feedback. Yeah, would you mind commenting on that?
Sure. No, hi. It's nice to meet you. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more. I'm Dr. Lynn Paxton. I am the public
I'm
health
sorry,
director.
Dr. Paxton, can you come closer,
Oh,
please,
okay.
if you don't mind?
I thought I'd escaped that, but
No.
No, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Get your steps in.
We need you.
Okay, good. That was
Thank you so much for joining us today in PECS.
yeah. Hey,
nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Okay, all I just coming up to say is yes, we are perfectly willing to work with you to the extent that we can. As I've made already the case, I've an explanation, is that local public health doesn't follow every single thing that you're following. Like, for example, the particulate matter and the effect on, lung. We don't really follow that, and I was suggesting that maybe EPA might. But other things, if you know, we are definitely have some of the. We have lots of data about cardiovascular disease and other things that we can map out for you where it's all located in DeKalb. And in addition, we can also be your liaison with DPH, Department of Public Health, the OASIS system that they have, and that they track more, probably not everything you need, but more. But so we're happy to do that. It's just that we could not take this on, but it sounds like you can, and so we'll help you. Okay?
Nice to meet you.
All right, it's nice to meet you.
All right, can you stay with us if you don't mind? Dr. Paxton?
And I just
can you
have
stay
a-
with- I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's quite all right.
I just have a follow-up.
Yes.
Okay, so glad to hear that. Thank you so much. I know that you are a very hardworking Department of Health, and I know you had something else on the plate.
Yeah.
It's a little stressful, but we really appreciate y'all engaging on this. My next question is related to this optional town hall, and I'm sure you went over this in my absence when I had to run out and go do something. So if we were to consider that town hall, certainly there is an additional cost to that. Did you let the folks know how much that cost would be?
Yeah, I included it in there. It's about about 2,000, right? It's just
the budget. Okay.
most of the cost is when you have a town hall to get people to show up, you should give them some food, and food is
I
expensive.
think everybody up here understands that.
Yeah, so that's pretty much
$2,000 in addition.
yeah, and some printing. We'd like to print the materials out to make sure everybody could take it home.
Okay. All right. I believe that covers my questions for now. But if I do have extra questions or additional questions, I will follow up. But I'm excited about this. I'm curious what we might learn. Thanks so much. Yield back.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Long-Spears. Just a couple of quick questions, Dr. Paxton. You said in terms of the effects, that's probably more a DPA and getting that data from the DPA.
Yeah, I would say we'd have to. Actually, what we do with all things, we explore all potential sources for us. I'm saying that I think that at the Georgia Department of Public Health, they have a larger database throughout for all of Georgia that covers a few more disease conditions than we cover. For example, you all have a copy of our Health in DeKalb report, but as you'll see, we don't have anything there now about asthma, that sort of thing. So what I would also recommend is that I did have to work a lot when I was the health director up in Gwinnett, Newton, Rockdale. When they had the biolab fire, we had to work a lot with the EPA, and so they have a lot of information that I think might be pertinent to this. Like, for example, with particulate matter, the effects on the environment and the like. So I'm just suggesting that we could be happy. We do not have that information, but we're happy to serve to the extent that we can as a liaison between those who do.
I appreciate that. Yes, and so as Commissioner Terry has mentioned, that a big concern for the folks that are really challenged by the data center is in and around the environmental well-being, whether that's air, noise, or water pollution. So that makes perfect sense. And so just looking at the potential costs and access to data, because at one point it seems like it was shared, you have data because you've been essentially working with our planning sustainability department, but then also that there would be a data research component at the tune of $9,900. So if that's information that is able to be ascertained by our DeKalb Department of Health, is that something that still would cost the same amount, or tell us what your thoughts are there?
Oh, yes. So that was the labor cost on the analysis. So most of the data is publicly available and free. It's just sifting through it, understanding, synthesizing. It's analysis. It's most of the cost is just brain time.
Okay. Fantastic. I'll tell you, I would need help in terms of determining who the stakeholders are, besides the obvious, the governing authority of DeKalb County. But how would you, and what criteria would you use to identify who the stakeholders would be?
That's a great question. Yeah, so I was hoping to get a list from you all of people that you like the best. And if it's a short list, we can just talk to all of them, because that would be better. Because most of the time when we're talking to members of the community, they feel like they are not part of the discussions. The more stakeholders we can interview, the better. If it gets out of hand, then we'll figure out if there's a way that we can either rubric, like who reaches the biggest audience, who maybe speaks for the most, what groups are covered by each stakeholder, so we get a pretty representative sample. So we'll go through and kind of figure out how we're getting the most coverage across the county.
Got you. All right. And so are there any stakeholders, again, besides the obvious that you've identified? I know you said you want to, get an exhaustive list for us, but just knee-jerk, with you guys being the experts, I'd be looking for you to give some direction here so that we can be most helpful in trying to get this data and get whatever you need to come to these conclusions.
So the Department of Public Health is one, environment and sustainability, obviously, so those like major government ones. But then out in the community, we want to make sure we're talking to community groups that are kind of representing all different parts of the county. DeKalb's pretty large. It's got pretty different various groups and localities, so making sure that we're covering them. And we've got good geographic coverage, but then also good demographic coverage.
Okay, thank you. All right, and so what methodology would you be using in order to analyze the data once you receive it?
Great question. We'll present it to you mainly with maps, because that's usually the easiest way to kind of show layers upon layers about what's going on. But there's a lot of indicators about what makes a population at risk, and so we'll take that into account as to what is already considered a burden community and other things like that. And then also there's a bunch of like high-level lines in the sand that you can draw about what puts people at risk and what overlapping compounding factors. So kind of layering that together and seeing what stands out to us.
I appreciate that, Mac. The visual would be helpful. So so you mentioned maps, and presumably that's like the technique, but what's the error rate in terms of the data and presenting maps in order to explain to us the information and the data after you've analyzed it, providing a report?
It's an interesting way to think about it. You can't error bar the future, so we're just going to be presenting known. I mean, you're going to have to look at it side by side, known best practices. There are specific noise limits that's it. You shouldn't go over them or you cause hearing damage, right? So are there already exposed places of noise? Maybe we shouldn't put it there, right? So then you have to look at that side by side. What is considered a community that is like overburdened is kind of speculative. So we can give you ranges about like, hey, this section of DeKalb already has more people with asthma than above the national average. So there you go. So kind of just putting it in comparison to like what is there and what isn't there, and what is considered the possible good averages and what is considered above the range of normal is where we're going to be going with that.
Fantastic. All right, and then maybe two more just quick questions. And so in terms of the technique and some of your previous reports, is it peer review or has it been published?
Let's see here. So we did one that is, we do not normally do peer-reviewed reports. We will be assessing peer-reviewed literature to give you the public health knowledge and the error bars that you wanted, but most of these reports are done for y'all, and so we have not submitted them to journals.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Patrick?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few questions. I guess like Commissioner Spears, I'd want a little more time to look this over. But just some general questions for the outputs. So use of water, does that mean you guys have access to the volume of water that these data centers use, or?
Oh, Lordy. You just, no one knows how much water any of them use. It's like a fun mystery dark box. But we can talk about how much water y'all have and general level sets that most data centers use.
Okay. And then for possible water contamination and PFAS. So my understanding is that any water that gets discharged already has to comply with the MS4 permitting requirements. Because you wouldn't be able to put it in a stormwater drain without some type of treatment. So what would you be adding beyond what we already evaluate?
So there's a considerable, I guess, on the dark corners of Reddit now, like this is what we're hearing from most community groups, is that whatever is coming out of these is contaminated with PFAS. So we really wanted to look into that, like, and provide what is true and what is not true around those rumors, and then what would be the tests that would help you test for those, and then just recommend them as, if you're doing this testing, you can be keeping a good eye on it. So just more of a double check on what the standard best practices are, which you probably have already implemented, but just this is what they are and this is what people are saying.
Okay. And then with the backup generators, last week at Public Works and Infrastructure, we had EPD representatives that came and talked to us that there's only 1 or 2 monitoring stations in DeKalb County, and they're both on the south side. So when it comes to measuring the particulate matter that comes from the backup generators, are you guys suggesting, or have you suggested to other clients the need for other monitoring stations, or how do you address that? What do we get for that, basically?
What are you getting for that? So in general, what we're hearing from communities as known polluters start to go in is, so our friends down in South Georgia just reached an agreement with an industrial plant, and part of it was around, they were doing air monitoring, and so they had specific, as part of their community benefits agreements, or part of the permitting, is that they needed to install additional monitors that were transparent. So just pointing out, like, given what the expected outputs are, what a good monitor would be to put in nearby, because you're right, probably the amount of monitoring equipment that exists right now is insufficient, but these are the ones that we would recommend to comply with that.
Okay. And then assuming a proposed location was near an interstate, how do you differentiate particulate matter from semi-trucks and diesel generators that may be on site?
Great question. Okay. That's why you do baselines, right? You do baselines, and we'll find out.
Okay.
That's why you do constant monitoring.
Understood. Okay. And again, you would basically, though, get the data from either EPD or EPA, and then that's your baseline. Okay. All right. I guess the mitigation efforts, the conversations we've had here at the Board of Commissioners is water that had already been treated by the, it's not potable water, but it's the water that would go back into the streams. So I guess we would talk about how to handle things in a drought, but that would be something that would affect people first before it would affect data centers. Testing requirements for water, air, and noise. And again, that's just your idea of the community services agreement to have those things monitored.
Yeah, so what we're, because people can come in and make promises all day long that it'll be below X number, but I feel like most community groups are in the trust but verify. So like these are, given what you're asking for and what would be good regulations, these would be the tests that you would want to run on the regular to make sure that they're in compliance with the standards you've set.
Okay, all right. And then end-of-life planning, is that, are you just getting what other communities have done, or do you come up with something else, or how do you speak to that?
Yeah, so this is, they're not going to be around forever, right? And so, especially when we talk to like smaller towns around Georgia, and they're like, look at our abandoned mill that has gone nowhere after it being shuttered 25, 35 years ago. So a couple very creative towns around the U.S. have started to put in bonds for end of life, as in when it closes, you don't just get a dried up husk of a shell. Like, how do you return the space to something else that's usable?
Right.
At, like, a park, or turn it into whatever it is that you want to do next. How does the county have enough money, especially if like they go bankrupt?
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it, and thank you, Madam Chair, for the time.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Patrick. I have just one or two additional questions myself, because I heard you mentioned like other places, other locations, and so have you done this type of a report study? I think I saw some other municipalities, but have you done specifically what you're proposing to do here in DeKalb? Have you done that in other counties, and particularly of this size?
No, this was a unique request. No other county has ever actually thought to see if their ordinance was actually following evidence-based best practices. So bonus points to y'all for trying to do something new.
I appreciate that. And I don't have, Director Paxton, if you, I don't have any other questions for her. If you, yes. All right. And so, Commissioner Chair, I think you had a couple of questions.
I know, I need to charge more. All right.
No, I think y'all covered it. I mean, just to kind of reiterate what Dr. Sharma pointed out, like, so some of this has been already done, but there's some new things that have emerged and some concerns that we just need to verify, and I think this would just add another layer of confidence for anything that we might be approving in the next month or two, that we've kind of covered our bases, done an extra check, and make sure that as we move forward, we have is enough confidence that we feel like we put in place the right regulations that will have the best outcome for our residents.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Sharma, really quickly, so are you considered, or would you consider yourself an expert on environmental impact?
No.
Data centers?
I would consider myself at this point an expert on data centers. So we're getting there on the environmental impacts.
Appreciate it. Commissioner Patrick, I think you had something to share.
Just a follow-up question. So again, we sort of had this conversation, or portions of this conversation, at Public Works last week. And I know Commissioner Terry is sort of pushing this notion of tying it to the data centers, but I thought that would probably be a good thing for the county just to have a baseline consideration sort of countywide of particulate matter or noise concerns, because, you know, on the top end, we've got a tank farm, we've got Spaghetti Junction, fourth worst interchange in America. And so, you know, my question is, and I'm sort of not inclined to go for on a data center basis, but more of a countywide approach. Is that something you guys consider? You do? Would you be able to pull together the data that looks at all components of the county so that we can say as a baseline, if you live in DeKalb County, this is how healthy it is. It's a 9.8 on a 10 scale, and we can verify that.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So last year for Commissioner Terry, we did kind of pull together just a very, very high level baseline. What is the situation in DeKalb, and where there were air monitors and where there were water quality monitors and where there were not, and how you guys could get complete coverage. And then we looked around at there's a few other enterprising counties that have created kind of baseline portals so people can go online and be like, this is my air quality,
right.
Things like that. So we have looked at that for y'all. We proposed how we could build one and stuff like that. So if we are happy to do that for you, that would be a lot of fun for us, and really a thing that we would enjoy putting together, because it's right in our wheelhouse of taking the data that's available and showing where the gaps in the data are, but then also what's missing from a lot of these data portals is any sort of interpretation for people, right? Because they're just there's this thing in the air, and people are
right.
Why do I care? So then taking that and providing an explanation, it is concerning when levels go above this, because this means that you can't go outside, or this means that people are at higher risk for asthma, which is bad for their kids and stuff like that. Or, hey, this area is doing really well, or we don't know anything about this area, and it would be good if we did know something about this area. So that is right in our wheelhouse, and we would love to work with you guys on a project like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Patrick. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, again, for being here with us. I appreciate you answering our questions. With that, I'm willing to entertain a motion.
If we had it come back in second meeting in April, would that be too long? Because I know our first meeting, we've got spring break the first full week of April.
Madam Chair, so the goal of doing this scan is actually related more to the issuance of a land disturbance permit.
Mm-hmm.
So to a certain extent, there are still a lot more steps to go before an LDP is issued.
Okay.
I think it would be good to have some preliminary review before we come back to the data center ordinance, which I believe is...
Isn't it in June?
May is when it's back on the agenda.
Could they remind us when?
Yes, I think
when it comes back.
That's what she was doing.
'Cause I think
Deputy Bragg, thank you so much, and congratulations on your new role. Congratulations.
Hey.
Thank you so much. The data center ordinance was back on your agenda on May 12th.
May 12th, okay.
So we have a little time.
Okay, all right, yeah. Let me make sure about this. April.
And April, we do have spring break, and so, but I'm willing to, make sure that we make time to try to, get Dr. Sharma back in.
So we've got April 21st Tuesday, April 21st, and then we've got the 28th, the final meeting for the month. If we had it back for the 21st, would that work? Back to PECS for the 21st, and then possible vote-ish
Yes,
on
and
the
I
28th?
see Shannon, it works from a PECS perspective. I see her shaking her head. Yes, so that works for us for a time and presentation standpoint to try to get that. Oh, the 28th? I'm sorry, can you? Thank you.
April 28th is a third Tuesday, so there will be no...
The 28th is the next one.
Yeah. So we will have PECS in April on the 28th.
We will have it on the 28th? We'll have it on the 28th?
Sorry, a lot of voices at the same time. We have a BOC in April on the 14th and the 28th. So we could have a PECS on the 14th, since PECS follows BOC, and to come for action in front of the full board on the 28th.
I think that works. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm good with that. If the mover is good with that, live with that. Yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so motion to defer to the April 14th PECS meeting?
Well, the April 28th BOC meeting
BOC.
to stop in PECS on the 14th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. That works.
Thank you. And so that is, just to make sure that we are being clear, since those two items are in tandem related to an environmental impact study, one particularly prior to any land disturbance, that will be for both agenda items, one ending in 0244, the other ending in 0245. Are we above board in legal interim county attorneys? We're good there? All right, just wanting to make sure. All right, and just continuing on with our agenda, we have the next item, 2025-0015, all commission districts and ordinance to amend the code of DeKalb County, Georgia, particularly Chapter 16, pertaining to the regulation of sound and for other purposes. All right, so Commissioner Terry said that we can hold those for now. I'll accept a motion in terms of deferring.
2 weeks. All right. Yeah, motion to hold for 2 weeks? Or actually, wouldn't that bring it back? Let's see here. March 7th. So Commissioner Terry, you're fine bringing it back March 26th for discussion? And then possible vote April 14? Okay.
Okay. March 24th.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's what was here. March 28.
What's the next PECS meeting for you, Madam Chair?
No, sir. I recognize this small font. We have a BOC meeting on March 24th, and to accommodate spring break, we are having a cow session on March 26th.
Oh.
That's what that is outlining for you.
I will defer to your younger eyes.
The 14th is fine.
14th, okay. All right, that works. One question I do have, and then we'll move on, but this is going to be the 5th time I've worked on a noise ordinance in my career, and my one question, and this is to Commissioner Terry as well as to any staff that is listening. We have written in Norcross and in Doraville some phenomenal noise ordinances, but if we don't have ways of enforcing it, we're sort of just moving words around on the page. So my question is going to be, when this comes back up, with this or with the existing code or what is being proposed, what's the enforcement strategy? Because I know residents can get upset with saying, well, you did something, but what's the upside? What's better on this? So that would be part of my questions for when we come back and discuss this.
Mine too. I always say that the rules law is only good as the ability to enforce it. So we need to figure out what those enforcement measures would be.
Okay. Did we vote on that time frame? Are we good on this item? Okay. All right. We have?
Have not.
Have not. Oh. Motion to defer this to the April 14th BOC with a prior stop at PECS. I think that's what we discussed. Yep. Okay.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and I'll go ahead and take care of the one on the back, on page 4. That's 2025-0017, all commission districts, a resolution to create an electric landscape maintenance device rebate program to encourage switching from gas-powered landscape maintenance devices and for other lawful purposes. Commissioner Theory.
Yes, and that one's connected to this. That one you just deferred, so
all right.
it's the same.
Make the same motion?
Motion to defer to the April 14th BOC with a prior stop at PECS before then.
All righty. Commissioner Terry? All right. Second, proper first and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And then we have two items that were on page 3. The first is ending in 1752. The second ending in 1774. Both of those two items were heard during our BOC regular meeting and voted on and approved through the Board of Commissioners. So those had been disposed of. The top of page 3 is agenda item ending in 0458. That's all commission districts authorizing the total of $9,067,525 of SPLOST funding for facility improvements to include roofing and HVAC system repairs and replacements for DeKalb County physical and mental health facilities. COO.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On this item, and I'm going to call up Mr. Kingsbury, what you have is a result of facility condition assessments, meetings with Claritel, and meetings with the Department of Public Health to come up with what are the priority needs for our 8 health facilities. And as a result, there's a total of about, we're going to amend this and offer a substitute, a total of approximately $13.5 million worth of need. And what we are proposing is taking the funds from the $14.5 million allocation in SPLOST 2 and get about the business of addressing these issues. The work that has been done, I'm very proud of the work the team has done. As you'll recall, back in about this time last year, there was a facility condition assessment ordered, and the results of the facility condition assessment identified key needs in these various facilities. So we'll be providing you with a document that goes through each of the items that we're proposing. So if you have any questions, Mr. Kingsbury, Mr. Ford, I think Representative from Claritel and Public Health are also in the audience.
Fantastic. Well, I want an opportunity, particularly as there's a substitute, and I asked earlier for the breakdown as to now opposed to the $9 million, $13 million, what that's going to look like. And so I'll just look for you to disperse that sheet and any additional information that we need. So there's no action needed at this point. We'll hold this in committee.
I do have a question.
Commissioner Patrick.
Because this is such a big number, even the $9 million, is this something that Mr. Lavoie Campbell's team could take a look at?
I think my understanding is that it may be in Mr. Campbell's shop. What you're going to find, these are a bunch of separate contracts. So you have the roofing, you have the HVAC and such, and these are on-call contractors, but you know,
It's across 8 sites.
it's across 8 sites, but you know, if Mr. Campbell has it, that's fine, and you're holding it for the next couple of weeks. Hopefully between now and then he's had an opportunity to review.
Okay, if it's possible, just to make sure he takes a look at it and gives us his
Yes.
his review as usual.
That would be fantastic. And Lord have mercy, if we can get these numbers a little larger. Again, I remind you guys, I turned 50.
I forgot that you're now
You
in
know,
my,
yes. You see the gray hairs? You guys are giving me a lot more.
See, a couple of weeks ago, it would have been fine, but I got you.
There you go. But I told you 50 is the new 30. You know, let me borrow yours in order to see this. But no, I look forward to being able to look through it, ask any additional questions. And so I appreciate you being here. The last agenda item, because I wanted to ensure that we exhausted, I'm sorry, Commissioner Patrick, did you have anything additional?
Could we
related to
get
this?
the Excel or PDF file of this, which we can read on a screen and zoom in on?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, Commissioner Patrick, that's what I meant when being able to read it.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Absolutely. All right. And the last agenda item is from Board of Commissioners District 2. The agenda item ends in 0385. All commission districts, a resolution of the governing authority of DeKalb County, Georgia, urging adoption of unhoused support services plan, establishing implementation, expectations, and accountability, and for all other lawful purposes. This agenda item was sponsored by Commissioner Longspears who had to leave, so we are going to defer this agenda item as well. So with that, I'll accept a motion to defer this item.
Motion to defer to the next PECS committee meeting.
All right. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and for hanging in there, with us. We did, Commissioner.
So we need to take care of some appointments.
Yes, we did forget the point. We've gone through so much. We did forget those appointments, and I like to. I thought we did though.
Did we vote on those already?
I thought we did, yeah. Because I thought I came back after the status update from Decide DeKalb.
The committee made a recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. No worries. See, he's trying to have us here longer than we need to.
I'm acting like it's PWI. I'm sorry about
There
that.
you go. Yes.
Sorry.
With that, I accept a motion.
Motion to adjourn. It's just you and me.
Whether he's second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for being here and staying in here with us at PECS. Enjoy the rest of your day.